Hey everybody, welcome to Home with the Halsteads. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to be making an apples and carrots casserole. It's delicious. I've already had some and it is so wonderful. I'll be using canned apples and I'll be using fresh carrots. I'll add some other ingredients. And my recipe will be at the beginning of the video, so you can just do a snapshot, sit back, follow along with me. Let's have fun as we make this apples and carrots casserole. It's delicious with any kind of meat that you can think of serving. We especially like it with pork roast or with tenderloin, and the sky's the limit as to what you can use this for. It makes a wonderful side dish. A couple of things before we get started putting our apples and carrots casserole together. I have preheated our oven to 350 degrees and I'm using a small baking dish, and I have lightly buttered this dish. So I'm going to set it aside. If I was making the whole recipe, I would use a larger dish. Now, I used fresh carrots. I have a cup and a half here. I boiled them in this little small saucepan that I have here. I just washed them, sliced them, covered them with water, and boiled them for about 10 minutes. So I have a cup and a half of cooked carrots. Next, I'm going to mix some dry ingredients together. We'll start out with 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. To that, I'm adding 1/3 of a cup of white granulated sugar, 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, and 2 tablespoons of light brown sugar. I'm going to take my whisk and just mix all of these dry ingredients together. Just whisking it around, trying to get the lumps out of the brown sugar. This casserole is wonderful with pork, maybe a pork roast, maybe pork tenderloin, pork chops. You could just let your imagination run wild when it comes to what you want to serve this casserole with. So now we have this mixed up and I'm going to set it aside. I'm going to bring our prepared dish back over, and I'm using these canned apples today. You could use fresh ones if you wanted to. You could just peel, core, put them in a little saucepan, some water, and boil them. But I'm using these. This is easy. These are called fried apples. I hope you can see that. So I'm going to put about half of the apples with the juice in the bottom of this baking dish. If I was making the full recipe, I would use 2 cans. On top of that, on top of the apples, I'm going to add the carrots. Just placing them around, spreading them out evenly. Now, I'm going to sprinkle about half of our dry, I wanted to do something else. I'm going to put some butter on top of the carrots. I'm just going to put a few dots of butter. If you wanted to melt your butter, you could do that. But I wanted to put some butter on top. I almost forgot that. I'm glad I remembered it because good butter is so good. So now we have that. Okay, I'm glad I remembered that. Now I'm going to sprinkle about half of the dry mixture on top of the carrots. To that, I'm going to sprinkle just a tad of cinnamon. You can use as much or as little as you like. And I'm also putting just a little bit of nutmeg. Now, let's add the remainder of our apples and juice on top of the carrots. So we're just placing them around. This is going to be so good. It smells delicious. If you find that this recipe is too sweet, you can use less sugar. You could use all brown sugar and leave out the white granulated if you wanted to do that. Or just make it your own. You know, that's the beauty of these recipes, is that when we share with each other, we learn from each other and we can adjust according to our needs and our desires, what we like, our likes, our dislikes, and we're all different. You know, God made us that way, and that is a beautiful thing. So now I'm just using the remainder of the dry ingredients to cover the casserole, just like that. This is so quick, so simple, so easy, and it's going to be delicious. I'm going to put just a tad of butter on top of this, just a little bit. I don't think it needs a lot, but I'm just going to put just a little bit on top in 2 or 3 little places. And we're going to put this in the oven on 350 and bake it for about 30 minutes. Now, if you wanted to, you could put a little bit more cinnamon on top. And if you wanted to, you could put just a tad more nutmeg on top. And like I said, make it your own. So let's go put it in the oven, and when it gets done, we'll look at it together. Our apples and carrots casserole has cooked for 40 minutes. You can see that it's bubbling, it's hot, it's going to be delicious. Now this is moist, so don't think that it's going to be real thick when you take it out of the oven. So we're going to take it out, we're going to let it rest, cool a little while, and then we'll sample it. Our apples and carrots casserole is out of the oven. It has sat here and it has cooled. It's still warm. I would say lukewarm. And I wanted you to see the consistency of it. So I have just a little dish here that I'm going to dip some. Look at that. I'm going to dip a lot so you can really see it. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I'm excited about this. Look, how delicious is that? So now let's taste it. Okay, folks, that wraps it up for today. This is our apples and carrots casserole recipe. It's going to be delicious. It is delicious. I hope you'll try it. Don't forget that you can just take a screenshot. The recipe is at the beginning of our video. Also, don't forget that we are on both Facebook and YouTube. Share with your friends, and I hope you'll try this recipe real soon. So I'm getting some carrots and some apples. I'm going to taste both at one time. The carrots have a little crunch. I didn't overcook them. They have a little crunch. They are so good. The apples are soft. It's not too sweet for me. If it's too sweet for you, you can just not add as much sugar. So I hope you'll try it. It's delicious, and I'll see you again really soon.